Well, this morning I want to get started on a project for my pups. This will be the last pup project for a while. But I also thought this might make a good Christmas gift. It just depends on, your pup. So I have two corgis. Corgis like to dive bomb their beds or mats, whatever you have, and they like to scratch them all up. And then they like to wall around them, twist and turn, and make a mess. And they like it to kind of wad up under them. At least mine do. I had a thought. Okay, I used to live in houses that had swimming pools. When we moved here, we didn't have a swimming pool, which is great. I don't need a swimming pool. Don't really take care of them anymore now that I'm older. When I used to live in them, yes. But now, no. So, I had these big old beach towels. These things came from Sam's. Five, 6 years old. I really only used them one season in South Texas when I lived down there. This has got pineapples on it. And then we moved to North Texas, which I did have a swimming pool there, but that swimming pool was shallow and it was right out in the sun and I hardly ever used it. So I also have this one, same beach towel, just different colors. Okay, these things are huge. They measure 36 by 66, huge. So what I've decided to do for my babes, because we now live in Missouri and it's quite a bit colder than what they're used to, and my studio is converted into the garage, so the floors are concrete, and they like to be out here with me, especially my oldest one down here on the floor. I don't know how dirty the floors are, but I'll give you a little peek at my cowboy. There he is. Say hi, cowboy. You're not gonna say hi? Okay. He's 11 years old, and he likes to be everywhere his mom is. So what I'm gonna do with these, I'm going to cut them in half, so that will make them 33 by 36. And I'm going to make a topper. Now, I've just picked some fabrics. I don't know. I have these for the blue one. Some of these I've had a long time and I'm ready for them to be out of my stash. Some of them I bought, and when I got them home, I hated them and I don't know why I bought them. So this is a good place to use them up. And the reason I was thinking about this is because it could easily be washed. So for the orange aqua one, I've got these colors. Now I may use more pieces out of my stash. I haven't got up there and dug through it yet and see if I have any pieces big enough. If I do, I will probably pull those out. You got to base it off of your towel. You can't base it off of my towel unless you have my towel. So measure your towel, whatever size it is, however big you want it. You might have a little pup, so you might just need half of a regular towel or a hand towel or something like that. It's big enough for your pup. I got big pups, so corgis, or people say they're little dogs. They're not. They're big dogs that are very short. They are as long as a lab or a boxer, but they're only as tall as a chihuahua. I don't know. So they're still a big dog, so they need quite a bit of space to lay on. So measure your towel, find a block size that will fit your towel. Like, you might have to trim one edge to make it work. So this one I can do two ways. I can make 6 by 8 inch blocks, or 6.5 by 8.5 inch cut, 6 by 8 finished. And I can do it like in a brick style. And then I can also do 4-inch blocks or 4.5 inch uncut blocks, and I can make it that way. Now, obviously, the 6 by 8 is going to be much faster than the other, but I'm going to do one of each. Also, I thought about it. I was just going to make the towel with the top and just leave it at that, but it is winter and Cowboy's getting older. Well, Cupcake will be 7 shortly herself. So I am going, not right now, but I'm going to run to Walmart either this evening or tomorrow morning, and I'm going to get some of that puffy batting. I never use it. I don't have any, but I'm going to get some for the pups. And I'm going to sew it in there so it gives them a little puff. But not so much that I can't wash it. That's my main thing. It needs to be able to be washed easily because they are corgis and they do shed. And that is a constant battle. I don't know, your pups may shed a lot, your pups may not, but these things, goodness gracious. When I brushed my little girl, wads. I mean, you could tuck it together and it won't close no more than that. I always do it outside. Hopefully the birds use the hair to make a nest. I don't know. I've always heard they do that. I don't know if that's true or not. But at least it blows away and it's not in my house. Okay, so to get this towel cut in two, I am just simply going to fold it in two. Okay, let's see here, guys. Sorry about getting my head in your way. Didn't mean to do that. I'm just doing this. So I'm just adding some pins along the way here to just keep it from getting all twisty-turny out of sorts. It's going to make a mess doing this, I know. I'm just going to put a little pressure on it and just cut. Whatever halfway is halfway. I'm not going to worry myself with it. Just a puppy dog bed. Just something for them to keep them off the floors and keep them in the easy to launder. Okay, so here we are at the sewing machine. Now we're at a different sewing machine. This is my Brother Dream machine 2, the 8550D. I've had this, I would say probably since 2018. I usually only use it for embroidery, but my Elna is in pieces. I had a problem with the cam and my husband fixed it, but apparently when the cam jammed and the sewing machine stopped working, it must have broke the tension motor. So the tension motor has to be replaced and we had to order one. Hoping it'll be here before Thanksgiving next week, but I'm really not sure. So I've broke out the Brother. Well, didn't really break it out, but I had to clean everything up so I could get over here and use it. So my sewing room got reorganized, straightened, cleaned up, and I'm really glad it did because it needed to be. I'm going to try this foot. I bought this foot quite some time ago. It's supposed to be a Teflon foot. These were not cheap feet. I thought I could use them on any of my machines, but they will not work on my Elna. Reason being, that Elna's a 1/4 inch is just not right. So if you don't remember to change your needle's position, you will bust a needle every time you put this thing under the Elna. I don't normally sew on this as a sewing machine. So I'll be honest with y'all, I'm a little rusty in using this machine. So we'll see. I've already practiced a little bit and well, the foot control is fast. I've got the little lever all the way down to low, and apparently that doesn't control anything unless you are using the start-stop button. And sorry, I'm not that innovative. So I got my stack A and I got my stack B, which is something else. This one also, this sewing machine sits up, not down, which is different for me. My other one is flat surfaced into a desk. So here we go. We are going to do the best we can with this 1/4 inch. And we are just about ready to get started. So let's see here. If I put that down and I line that up with the, okay. All right, guys, so what I did here was, this was A, B, C, D. So now I'm going to sew these 2 rows together. Okay. Sorry, I know it's a little... And it'll be the same difference down here. And I'll have those rows together, and then I'll sew these 2 sets together. And all the rows will be done, and all we got to do is join all the rows to each other, and we'll have the quilt done. So, just give y'all a little look around here. There's the puppies that we'll be making these blankets for. See, they need something to lay on in here. It's cold in here. And my poor little Elna over here in a million pieces. That's okay. That's okay. And we'll just swing back over here to the brother. Okay, guys, this time I'm going to try this angle. When I get through with my editing on this video, then I'll know what angles are good angles to use for this sewing machine or not. But let me grab stack A and put it down here, and stack B, okay? And I'll just put right sides together. Oh, foot down. I gotta remember all the things with this sewing machine. It's a little different. Just like to make sure I'm all lined up here. Just kind of shake them out for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to leave this as one stack. I'll get the other stack made, and then we will be ready to sew it together. We'll have all of our rows completed. So when I get ready to do that, I'll come back. I will move the camera for that because I don't think it's gonna be conducive because it's gonna be too wide. Okay, I'll see y'all back in a few minutes. Okay, so I have my first set that we sewed together. I have my second set that I just finished. We're gonna sew these 2 together down the middle line, and that will give us all of our rows. Okay. This one might be a little difficult to put them both there, so what I'll do is I'll just grab them one at a time. So I'll open up this side, take this one and do right sides together, and there we go. We'll be ready to start sewing. Well, don't think that's quite lined up, guys. Oops. There we go. cut these apart. Boy. All right. I normally press mine, but I don't know. I think I might skip that step. So if I do, this will be row number 1. And this will be row number 2. Okay. Here we go. Just want to make sure it's nested together well. Okay. And the next one, we should keep them all going the same way. All right, so I'm just going to keep going like this, guys. And I'm just going to open this up like this. Grab the next one. And sew it on. Okay, so I'm going to take y'all around a little bit this morning and show you a couple things. First thing is a family called while I was sewing yesterday. And I ended up finishing the top of that little quilt, not thinking until I took the last stitch, you should have recorded the end of that. Okay, so I'm going to take y'all over to the design wall. We'll look at that little quilt in just a second. But I still have another piece to make. So anyway, I'm ending up with 4 dog sleeping pads, I guess we can call resting pads. It's not really their dog bed. It's not where they spend their nights, okay? But I need a place for them to chill out in the living room and my sewing room that I can easily wash. So that was the point of this little video. And I think that it would make a great way for people who have pups that maybe even if you travel with them, it'll be a little smaller in bulk to take with you. Now, I'm having a little issue. I went and looked last night at Walmart, and I'm going to go to probably Joann's later today or tomorrow. I can't find the high loft batting. You know, even what they're calling extra high loft, it's still only like this thick, okay? And my Cupcake, she's a big girl. She's always been a big girl. When you see her, you're going to think that woman overfeeds her dog. Her dog is fat. Cupcake's big. I'm not going to lie. But she came to me big. I bought her from someone in Oklahoma. I lived in Texas City at the time. And she was supposed to be like 12 weeks old. And so I expected, they shipped her to me in an airplane crate. And so when I show up at the airport to pick her up, I expected, you know, a doggy crate. No, dog crate. And I told Jacob, I said, that's my son, that can't be our dog. I mean, she's a puppy. She's 12 weeks old, right? But it was. She was probably, now she's a corgi, so she was probably about 15, 16 inches long. And she's very short. Her little paws were as big as this side of my hand. She has bear paws. Her daddy's always called her his little bear because she has bear paws. She's a big dog. She always was. So I don't put her on social media a lot because I don't want people hating on me and her because she's a little big. She gets the same amount of food as my other dog, okay? They get the healthy weight dog food. I don't feed them anything else like that. Their daddy does give them a couple of vanilla wafers a day, and they get a pepperoni or maybe 2 a day. That's it. That's all these dogs get. So she's big because she's big. Just saying. Back to my thing. Because y'all might see her, and I don't want y'all to think I overfeed her. I don't. She's just a big girl. I'll show her too. She's down here sleeping. Now, this is a mess down here, but I'll show y'all. Okay? So let's have a little look at Cupcake. Hello, baby girl. How are you doing? You gonna talk? You gonna talk? Oh, that's my baby girl. She's pouting because her brother ate his food later than she did, and so she thinks she missed a meal, but her didn't. Her got her breakfast earlier. Okay, guys. I just wanted to show y'all off a little bit. Okay, so here's the little top that I made, just all scraps. A few pieces did look like yardage because you can see I have quite a few of them. They were maybe a width of fabric or something like that. So I just went on and cut it. But this is one little set. This is the one I was filming, and I should have stopped and showed y'all putting those last pieces together. But basically we just put together 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows. We join these 2 rows, and we join these, and we join these, and then we join this set to this set, and that set to the whole set. And that was fast and easy. I mean, you can't get simpler than this when it comes to quilt making. So we are talking about pups, right? And my dogs, when they get on their bed, they like to scratch. Scratch and scratch and wad until they get it however they think they got it. So I was thinking that, oh, by the way, some of my scenes flipped, sorry. But that's just the reality of sewing sometimes. When you're sewing and talking on the phone at the same time. But I enjoyed my conversation, so that's fine. Okay. So what I did was I had some SF101. I bought it for a different reason. Now I don't know what to do with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this SF101, and I'll show you that because I've already done it. And I'm going to iron it onto the back, of this piece, this little quilt. I think I got it going the wrong way, and that's why but I guess it don't really matter at this point. So anyway, I'm going to cover the back with SF101. And that way, it'll add a little stability to the top of the quilt, and I think it will add some durability. I'm not positive in that, so don't quote me on that. In my mind, I feel like if it has the stability, it'll add durability too. And then I'll iron it on, and then when we do a little quilt sandwich and flip it, we'll put a few quilting lines here and there to help hold it in place. I'm trying to make something durable and washable. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here to my ironing board. So here we go. Now this quilt I did not make in the last 2 days, but I found it in my stash. It's a little quilt top I had made, and when I got through with it, I was like, I had something I wanted to applique to the top of this as a piece of thread paint art. It was actually a dragonfly, but the dragonfly ended up being too large and overpowering. So here, I'll even show him to you. He's right here for this little quilt. So here's the dragonfly part. See, it's just huge. But what I really loved about it was its wings. I made it, look, you can see through them. Isn't that neat? And I loved his little wings, but that's the wrong ones. But I didn't, well, these came apart is what it is. But I didn't love the dragonfly. So I don't know, I'm gonna figure out what to use these wings on because they are fun, and we can learn how to make those if you want to, just let me know. All right, so that's this side. So this is just a little bit smaller than how I cut the towel. And just because your towel is a certain size doesn't mean the quilt has to match it completely. So I'm gonna cut the towel down to match this. But I think this will be a nice one. So here we go. SF101 is ironed to the back of this. See, it's ironed on there. And it's all covered. And I do feel like it made it stiffer and more durable. Now this is another quilt that I had made, and I did make this one. So it's all put together. Here's the quilt, the towel. I'm gonna put this, to put them together and putting the right sides together, okay? And the batting will be on top of that. So I got this laid out with the right side up. I couldn't use the toweling side. For one thing, the dogs scratch. And I didn't want them scratching it up and getting snags, because this already has some snags in it. So anyway, we'll put this back down because I already had this all smoothed and ironed and ready to go. Okay, so I have been everywhere looking today for the puffy batting. I guess it was probably 10, 12 years ago you could still get it. I don't know if you can get it anymore. The thickest I could find with the poly batting, not the 100% cotton, was 8-ounce weight, and it just wasn't thick enough to do any good. So all I'm gonna do, I've changed my mind, I didn't have a choice, is put a piece of regular cotton batting like I use for the rest of my quilts in here. That'll give you a barrier against the cold. So it'll be a top, a towel, and then I will put a layer of batting on top of this. I'm going to trim it to size. It's all going to be trimmed the same size. Pin it, leave a hole for turning, sew it, we'll turn it out, we'll close the hole, we'll do a few stitches in the middle to keep it in place good so he can scratch and do what he wants. And then after that, I'll just move on to the next one. All right, guys, so we're over here at the sewing machine. Sorry, I hit the record thing. So this sewing machine doesn't have a regular walking foot. It has this dual control. I don't even know what that means. So I got it set up. It's a little more than a 1/4 inch going around here. It's a lot of layers. So first I have on the batting, and then I have the towel and the quilt top, right sides together. And so let's see what happens when I hit the gas. Now I want to do a reverse stitch here a little bit. Okay, now let's see. It's supposed to be like a fancy walking foot. And I know probably a lot of y'all got something like this and y'all use it all the time and you love it. So here goes Belinda's first time using it. Ain't this a shame? I've had this thing so long. Okay. Now I kind of got to make a guess as to where to turn. Oh, I did a pretty good guess on that one. Okay. Well, all right, guys. So that is this one all the way down. And what we're going to do is we're going to reach in here between the top and the bottom. And that's where we're going to turn it from. But before we do that, I'm probably going to take it back to the table to show y'all that. We will trim these corners off. Okay? Get the corners snipped. On this edge. Where am I turning it from? Over here. All right. So reach in here between the top and the towel. Go to one of your far ends. I think I left this hole a little bigger on this side. This one here is also beautiful and bright colored. So we're just gonna push out the corners as best we can. I mean, they're thick corners. And so they ain't gotta be perfectly square. Okay, so all we're gonna do at this point, guys, is I'm gonna tuck this in like that. Tuck the bottom in, kind of line it up, and then I'm gonna pin it. And then when I sew it, it'll close that gap. So I'm gonna get that done at the sewing machine, and I will be back to show y'all how I finished them all off, okay? I finally finished the 4 doggy beds for her Cowboy and Cupcake. So I have this one. I just sewed one line of quilting around toward the inside. I think it'll be just fine. And then we have this one. Just, you know, square blocks put together. I have this one, like I talked about. This one was not originally for this. I had made this little quilt for something else, but since I didn't really need it for something else, I didn't like how it turned out for that. I thought this was good enough for the dogs to waddle around on the cold ground with and just have fun. And then the last one was, oops, and then the last one was this one. I was just going to show you how you could gift it. So I put the collar around the doggy bed, and then make a nice little present for a grand pup, or, you know, a neighbor's pup that you like a lot. And this one was also some blocks I had put together. I was working on a pattern. I hated it once I got to working on it, but I would have liked to finish it into something. I ran out of pink. And then I ran out of blue. So this isn't even. It's just blocks, okay? But like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. This is just something for the dogs to have, to keep them off the cold floors and keep them warm. The main thing is that they won't be cold on these concrete floors. And I used up some quilt blocks that I had made that I didn't have a lot of use for anymore. And then I made something useful out of them. So I'm going to show you the dogs on them very shortly. All right, guys, so remember to always be yourself. So just remember, guys, everything doesn't have to be perfect, and everything doesn't have to be expensive. It just needs to be done with love. So guys, I'll talk to y'all later when I get the pups on their little beds. Have a good evening.
Okay, right. Little guys.
Look what Mama got for you.
Mama got you something special. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Look, okay. What you getting? You're not interested? It doesn't look like a bed to you?
I want to get it straight for you, boo.
Isn't your new bed? Okay, Cupcakes and
I got it, Mama. There you go.
Are you happy? Yeah. That's for you.
Yeah. You like your bed? Uh-huh. It's gonna be fun.
Let's see.
Look, he said, I'm coming, Mama. I got my pig.
Y'all gonna fight over the pig? Y'all gonna put on the show?
You let her have it. You so nice. You always do that.
Oh, she loves it. Look at her. Oh, there you go.
Go ahead and dive into it, boo.
Oh, there
you
you
go.
go.
It feels good. He wants to rub on it.